Hey guys, welcome to Critical Hit. This is Karan.
And this is Harish. Let's get to what Critical Hit essentially is about. Well, to start off, it's great to be among the first Indians to do this for the gaming community out there. We're going to be talking first impressions of games that we played out, new releases. We're going to talk about the last and lasting thoughts of different games that we've played across the years.
Yeah, and just exploring the world of gaming across
Across,
platforms.
yeah, and sharing the experience with you guys and what to watch out for among new games that come out. Right. So let's get on to our first topic.
Narratives.
Narratives. This is a topic that's very close to my heart and truly defines a game's experience.
I mean, it's changed so much over the years,
It's
right?
definitely changed over the years. You've seen it happening right from your, Castlevania to Black Throne to Age of Empires, and it's come so far. How these little elements have become a huge part of games.
I mean, especially gaming today, that's become so narrative driven, where your audience is hungry for narrative.
Yeah, and
You know,
excellent writing. It essentially captures a complete story that is normally difficult to even gain through movies or like cult TV shows and
I
following.
mean, the characters are so well developed, the relationships are so well, designed, the progression, just the pacing also nowadays has changed so much of these stories, and it gets you word I hate, but it's very immersive.
Immersive. Yeah, just so you know, these guys he hates the word immersive. So if you ever catch hold of his Twitter or Facebook account, please spam him with that word. Make a GIF out of it, make videos out of it, go crazy, and just like
I mean,
hurt him.
I don't hate the word; it's just overused.
Yeah. So, yes, like we were saying, narratives are getting so convoluted. The plots are getting so intense that they are making a Netflix special for The Witcher, and even Castlevania has its own new season coming out. It's been renewed for more seasons, and of course, everyone tries their hand at movies and the movie editions. I don't think there's been a single good movie release on popular games.
No, I don't think so either.
I think the best attempt would have been Need for Speed
Yeah.
because well, Need for Speed didn't have a plot to begin with.
But what do you think? Like, apart from like characters, relationships, and stuff, what is a good narrative for you?
For me, a good narrative has to be. I think at every stage the progression has to be tight. You begin to empathize the character. You begin to be in their shoes directly. Find out what their relationships are with different characters in the game. Where is the story? Where is the story going? What is he all about? Can you get inside his head completely or her head completely, right? And essentially see what the final outcome is. You keep getting hungry for more.
I mean, the character arc, just the progression, like where it
Correct.
goes, that kind of feeling that in certain games really hook you like that.
They do. One my favorite example is The Last of Us.
Hard fanboy. He has a tattoo.
Yeah, I actually got a tattoo to myself. Following Joel and Ellie, and the story was so good. You can actually see elements if you've watched the movie Logan. That was a very good portrayal of Joel and Ellie in their own way.
Yeah.
Essentially, it was very, very. Um, let's say at the top, at like just at the surface, touching the game.
But Last of Us is a kind of game that like it's phenomenal right off the bat. Within the first 10 minutes, the story grips you.
Yeah, it does. It's got like the perfect mix of say gameplay and cutscenes. It keeps you going, and it's so seamlessly integrated. You know, when you're switching from cutscene to actual gameplay, unlike most like past experiences where they've used video engines over the game engine to actually bring the cutscene, and then you can tell when it's about time to start playing. Right, that doesn't
Yeah.
exist anymore. That's becoming so seamless across games, not just The Last of Us, same God of War or Spider Man. It is beautifully stitched together.
I mean, yeah, it adds to how the progression goes, right? I mean, it helps that connectivity with the character.
Correct, absolutely. Connectivity, relatability with that character as well, and also if you can connect like online elements to the story also, like I've seen that happen in Watch Dogs in the middle, and they tried something over there, but it was an interesting take.
I mean, like something that I enjoy, like for example, of online elements is like something like Shadow of War,
Hmm.
where the Nemesis system really lets you create your own
Yeah.
narratives.
And lets you take your orcs into the garrison.
And it just creates a different kind of dynamic, right? And that's what a lot of narratives tend to do. So, okay, right off the bat, what are your, like, what kind of games would you recommend to someone who's just starting out? Or, in fact, actually, who's just into games?
So let's take it for the beginners first.
Mm.
I think some must play narratives. Definitely The Last of Us, the new God of War,
Of course. It
for
is
sure.
so good. If you haven't played it already, please.
Grab a copy right now and buy a PS4 just for that.
Oh, definitely. And Uncharted.
And Uncharted, definitely. Again, the entire series. Thank God they've remastered it for the PS4 as well, so you can actually catch it from the start.
And they have some great bundles that are on sale online.
Yes,
So you can get a great deal on those 3 games.
if you want an introduction to JRPG and the narratives there, then Persona 5.
I knew it. What a game, though.
That had to be on the list, man.
I mean, if you like convoluted stories.
Definitely. And finally, see, you can try your hand at GTA 5 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games that you can even, like I said, I was talking about creating your own narrative. It lets you do that.
It lets you do that
And it's such a well designed world.
across 3 characters.
I mean, you can just go out and play tennis or golf. Like, and it's not like it's just for fun. It's actually well designed mini games.
Or like randomly stand on the road and start doing yoga.
Yeah. Or take a car.
Don't take my car.
And that's the fun part. Like that, these are some kind of games that also let you do like creating your own narrative style gameplay, where you go and you're like, I wanna do it this way, and then it lets you,
It does.
and that's pretty awesome.
It does. Would you recommend The Witcher to a beginner?
Yes and no. I think if you play, like, the game is slightly difficult and it's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of menus, a lot of sub
Crafting and
it is a lot to take in, but man, it's my favorite. Like,
I knew that's why I wanted to throw it in there.
man, I love that game so much.
Yeah,
It
so-
is so well written. The characters are so well made.
It is. Absolutely. Yeah, so I think GTA 5 and The Witcher as well. For already seasoned gamers, and I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have to actually take these names. You guys will have already explored it, but we're going to tell you what not to miss out on anyway. The Witcher 3, of course. for
Hands
sure,
down. Hands
right?
down.
The new God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah. And okay, this is something that I'm a fanboy, yes, but Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid, the entire series.
It is convoluted, but my god, is it gripping.
It's really well written. And definitely catch up on Snake's history before you get into Metal Gear Solid 5, which is the most easily available right now.
Definitely.
Right. And
Undertale.
one Undertale, the one that stands out in narratives is definitely Undertale. It's an experience that you have to go through and then finally come out feeling like shit for the decisions you've made.
Yeah, I mean, you end up coming out feeling terrible, and you're just like,
That was a life lesson. That wasn't a game.
yeah, I've learned something. It's like when I played Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Shadow of the Colossus.
Man, when I finished that game, I was sad.
These games are so gripping and at the same time are so educative. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but
they just it's a great story. They're just great stories, and they make you feel.
yeah, it's
And-
definitely a title you want to hold on to. Now let's move on to our next segment, which is gameplay versus cutscene, which is something that's really important. Like the balance between the two is really important for a good narrative.
I mean, coming to gameplay versus cutscene, when you're saying it's so important for good narrative, my first instinct goes to Uncharted.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, they've actually managed to seamlessly flow in and out of cutscenes as well as integrate some playable elements in cutscenes as well.
And it works out so seamlessly, as they play.
Yeah,
Like, as you play.
absolutely. And then there's ones like your favorite series, Metal Gear Solid.
I mean, There are long cutscenes in that game.
Yeah, man. I mean, you might want to keep a snack next to you while you're actually going through it because you will essentially feel like you're in a movie.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there are some really long cutscenes.
Even though you don't really wait them out, you just like sit through them all, but they end up being really long.
Yeah,
You don't
definitely.
even realize the time when it comes through that. So, yeah, cutscene time over there. So I have played some games where the cutscenes have been way too long. So, for example, if you start playing The Last of Us, you played the first couple of times. It's great. You can revisit that a number of times, and this is also an important factor for me: revisitability or
Yeah,
replayability. What is the replay value you get?
yeah.
The Last of Us has like a couple of times, but after that, you just know you don't have
Mm.
that much time to spare in life
Yeah,
for
I
it.
mean, how many times are you? It's one narrative,
It is
right?
just one hour. Whereas God of War again is a good example of one narrative, but the gameplay is so engrossing you keep visiting back. It's a good stress buster,
Agreed.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the cutscene time is something that has to have a really good balance with the gameplay time. And let's talk about while we're there, let's talk about narratives to revisit. What have been some narratives that you revisited
I
over
mean,
and over?
so I came back to Shadow of the Colossus years later, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Mm-hmm.
and my God, it had the same effect on me. It was
Except in HD.
yeah, except in HD. It had an HD effect on me. I felt it in high definition. But it was amazing to play it again because I played it when I was very young.
Mm-hmm.
And there were so many elements that I missed.
Yeah,
So if you like, it's like if some games that you've played really young, it's actually interesting to go back and revisit them.
this is true. Devil May Cry is that for me.
Oh, brilliant! The first one?
In the first itself. The HD collection's out there, man.
Yeah, man.
They've remastered all the good stuff and put it in.
I mean, so like when you talk about revisiting narratives like Telltale,
yes.
I mean, it's kind of sad that they've shut down,
Yeah.
but they
Thanks
did.
for the good work, man.
Yeah, I mean, Heavy Rain, the first season of Walking Dead, the first time you played it. I mean, for someone to say, like, they made a niche out of it. Like, when someone said, oh, what's the game? And you go, like, it's a Telltale game.
Yeah,
You know?
they've made their own genre there.
That's kind of phenomenal as an achievement because
Yes.
and they give you many paths.
Mm-hmm.
Your choices changed the outcomes,
This is true.
which gave you replayability, which made it worth revisiting.
Yeah, you see a lot of those Detroit Become Human and Octopath Traveler on the Nintendo Switch. You'll end up playing like a good 60 hours more after you've already finished the game.
Yeah, definitely. Even a game like like Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain.
Even a game like Heavy Rain.
Mm-hmm. That's actually what I'm gonna visit next. I don't know how I managed to skip that one. I missed it.
I mean, I played it back when I was about 19, and it was the first time I'd ever experienced a game like that, and it gave you different choices.
Mm-hmm.
And I finished the game, and I played it again, and I did everything differently
Yeah.
just to see what would happen.
Right.
Because it was the first time I'd ever experienced something like
Right.
that,
Right. Right.
and it's a brilliant story.
So yeah. Yeah. I really need to give that one a try. I'm gonna put that on my downloads right now. Hold on, guys. Okay. So what's a good narrative you'd like to see like turn into a video game? Right, straight out of pop culture, whether out of comics or like books or movies or
I mean, I think the gaming community deserve a Star Wars open world.
yes, absolutely. Over the last few attempts, I think
Like, I want to walk around.
Battlefield 2.
Let's not talk about Battlefront, please. But I think it's like wandering across Tatooine.
Yeah, that would be an experience, and then three suns straight
I
at
mean,
you,
like,
like
just-
in HDR.
Yeah, just wandering across that,
So much you can do with that.
I mean, that just let me pick my class.
Yeah,
You have the lore is all there.
yeah.
Everything is present.
You can choose to, go out as a Jedi or like as a Sith Lord or Mandalorians or it possibilities are endless.
They really are. I mean, there's so much to explore there, and they've just taken their time and held off on it.
I really hope this is like a secret project EA is working on.
Like,
Guys, are you listening?
I know what you want.
Take a guess.
It's Harry Potter.
God damn it.
But there have been leaks.
Yes, there have been very exciting leaks, and just the kind that I've been waiting for. For those you don't know, very recently, a Harry Potter open world, what looked like a Harry Potter open world game in development, was leaked on Reddit, and we saw shots of you as a fifth year. You already progressed halfway through the game.
I mean, that's great though. I mean, because it opens you up to like
Correct,
so
and
much more knowledge, and you can just get,
especially if you're like a Harry Potter fan, you already know what the first few years are going
Yeah.
to be like, and there's really not much to it. I don't think you can replicate the entire Chamber of Secrets opening again and going
Yeah.
through the entire typical Harry Potter story,
Yeah.
but build your own story as a Hogwarts student. You skip to choosing your house, get straight to the fifth year, and that say I can be a fifth year Slytherin. Of course, I'm going to be picking Slytherin. But see where that goes from there. Whether you become an order or like I don't know, like your career
There's,
path.
there's so much to explore.
There's just
There's so much depth in magic, so much depth in potions, so much depth in so many elements of that world,
Yeah.
in items.
The
in-
levels to which that can be built are like limitless.
yeah, and when you start being able to combine these things
Mm-hmm.
together, if they create a system that lets us do these things, then it's endless.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
And if you, after all that, if you throw in an MMO for it,
I mean, if there's an online element, because I don't know if you make it an MMO, I would say it might lose its.
yeah,
It's
I think that can be something that you can imagine chilling at Diagon Alley with some of your peeps and shit. And you
Yeah.
start dueling someone randomly.
yeah. I mean, that would
Just
be.
because you don't like what his face looks like.
Yeah. I challenge you. Let's go.
Yeah. And you get kicked offline for using the unforgivable curses and shit. There's so much shit you can do like online there.
True.
Yeah. So let's close with your top 5 favorite narratives.
I mean, I have more than 5.
I'm sure. And don't give me any particular order for this.
Yeah, I mean, it's not in any order.
Yeah.
The Witcher 3. No, but The Witcher 3, because even the side missions are phenomenal.
Yeah.
The narratives are
Yeah.
so well done. The voice acting throughout is great. Gwent is great. I spent way too long playing Gwent.
Gwent.
It is a phenomenal side, like just a mini game.
Minigame, yeah.
And it's so well designed that it actually got turned
Into an actual game, yeah.
into a game,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, it's just a testament to CD Projekt Red.
Yep.
Uh,
Absolutely.
They're a phenomenal company, and
Yeah.
they've done some amazing work.
They've done God's work for gaming, man. They just give you the entire game without microtransactions, and that's how it should be.
I mean, it's just a game.
It just-
And why don't use the M word, man? Just don't. I know you're trying to trigger me, but don't.
But yeah, they just give you the entire package, and this is the complete experience. Like, go for
Yeah.
it. And that's why I'm very excited to see Cyberpunk.
Yeah, and even with the DLC,
Mhm.
you get a complete.
New game, yeah.
And it's if someone asks me which is like the best value for money game out there, hands down for me it's The Witcher 3.
Nice.
Uh,
So what are the other 4?
well, it's so difficult because there's so many great games out there. But Last of Us, of course,
Yay.
as we've discussed. Undertale,
Undertale, yes.
phenomenal experience.
Hmm.
And it's like, I love Metal Gear. I love Metal Gear.
Yeah. If
Metal-
you're starting off on Metal Gear, make sure you watch the Lord of Snake, guys.
Oh yeah, definitely. Please, if you're getting into 5, I would highly recommend you catch up on the
Brush
lore.
up on it, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think for my last, it's always like a challenge between like Horizon and because it's difficult because what happens is you think of so many great narratives
Yes.
because there's so many.
So many are there. Absolutely.
Assassin's Creed 2, weirdly enough.
Yes, Ezio, man.
Yeah, that first time you experienced that story, it was great. That
It was great.
I loved it. But God of War.
God of War, the new one.
Yeah, God of War.
Yeah. For me, I think my top 5 is, well, The Last of Us, followed by Horizon Zero Dawn. At this point, I'm just naming Sony exclusives. Undertale again for me, for sure. I think you should pick that one on Steam, guys. It's right there and really has no system requirements.
Really.
Then there is Uncharted for me.
Mm.
Then
Even the spin-offs are great.
The spin-offs are great too. Yeah,
You know?
actually, Lost Legacy was fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say too great, but fun. Persona 5, for sure. Like, that shit makes Christopher Nolan look like a student, man. It's just some really convoluted stuff.
Man, but also some of the best menus, weirdly enough.
Yeah, like, how many times do you see, like, 50, 60 shades of, like, black just splashing up on your screen?
I mean, and it's really done well. They've really nailed it.
Yeah. And GTA 5.
Oh, yeah. My
For
God.
me, definitely. You should, I mean, if you guys haven't played any of the games that we've mentioned on this, definitely give it a shot.
Yeah. And also, if you are like us and you're waiting for Red Dead Redemption 2,
Pre-order that right now.
yeah, definitely
This
get
is
that
not sponsored. This is just like,
Yeah, this is just us saying
Push.
Rockstar makes good games.
yeah, they live up to their name, man.
Yeah, they get the game. If you're just starting out and you're wondering what game should I get, just get Red Dead. It is definitely worth every penny.
If you guys want us to make like a video podcast and watch Karan cringe every time I say microtransactions, just hit up in the comments below. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that. And yeah,
It's been great, guys.
It's been great. Thank you so much for listening to our first podcast. We have tons of episodes lined up for you. You can follow us on social media as well. I'm Scary Harry Man on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
And I'm Karan Hariharan everywhere.
Yeah. All right. So thanks for listening, guys.